Hello Year 2 and welcome to your flipped classroom this week. In art this term, we're going to look at the artwork of Paul Klee. We're going to create our own version of sailing boats, which was created by himself, which is below. So what we've been learning so far, we've got our knowledge organizer. So this is what people thought of Paul Klee. He was the best German young artist early in his career. People thought his work stood out from others because it was so inventive. That means it's very creative. People thought his style was childlike, but very detailed when they looked more closely. In World War II, his paintings were banned in Germany. He was a very popular artist and he's very well known today. Here are some of the facts about Paul Klee when he was born on the 18th of December 1879. He was married with one son and he died on the 29th of June in 1940. With his education, he first wanted to be a musician, but later on became an artist. He started drawing caricatures, which are cartoons of people. He was very good at art and he went on to art school. Later on in life, he became quite ill. He painted his whole life, but later on he became a little bit ill. He then made his paintings larger and simpler, and he started using large blocks of colour. Now, you will notice in some of his pictures, especially his painting of sailing boats, he was inspired by Cubism. Cubism is where you show the viewpoints of an object by using 2D shapes. For example, if you were going to draw a house, you may have a square and a triangle. So you're using 2D shapes to create real-life objects. He used bold colours in the shapes, but when he was using watercolors, he ensured they were pale colours. His first shape piece included just coloured rectangles and a few circles. He enjoyed mixing media in his artwork. Let's move on to the next one. Here are a few pieces of artwork by him. So for example, you can see here at the top left, houses on the sea, which is what we are going to be using. You've got red bridge, a castle and circle. Here are some of his key ideas when he was using. So for example, you can see here, he used bold colours when painting shapes and watercolours for landscapes. So here you can see you've got the background, which is the landscape, which is a pale colour, and the buildings and the boats has got a quite bold in this one. Now, we are going to be using watercolours. So watercolours, which are these paint palettes here. As you can see on the red, we have used just one block of colour here. In the middle one, we've used two colours, like a pale orange and a pale red. But here is just one colour fading out. Now, you will notice on this one, you can see that at the bottom here, you've got a dark shade where you've got more paint and less water. And if you want a lighter colour, you add more water to it. So for example, on the second sheet here, it's quite blue. And if you wanted it paler, you add more water. If you want the background to be darker, you add more paint. Now, to create the boat, we are going to use various different types of paper. We're going to use bold colours, as you can see. We're going to have paper and tissue paper. We're going to be cutting our 2D shapes out and then trying to create a boat. It may not look like a boat. You know, it doesn't need to look like a boat, but it may not exactly look like a boat. For example, if I wanted the base to be this 2D shape, I can choose this one and pop it over here. I could choose perhaps this triangle and I can bring it over here and I can try and position it. I can overlap it. So does it look like a boat here? Not quite. I can move it to the other side. Not quite. I can also turn the shape, okay, and position it perhaps on the right here or on the left or in the middle. And all I need to do is move it around so that I think actually it looks a bit like a boat. Oh, there we go. I can put it here. Let's see if we can move this one out of the way. Let's pop it at the top. So this one's beginning to look like a boat. I can choose perhaps a smaller triangle. If I bring it over here, again, if I maybe wanted to pop it at the top, it doesn't quite look, well, it does look like a boat, but it's your choice as long as it begins to look like a boat. Again, I can rotate this shape and perhaps I can pop it here so it looks like a flag at the top of a sail. Now, if you were to look at the shape, this object that I've created the shapes, it looks like a boat, not exactly, but you can tell that it looks like a boat. This is what we are going to be doing in class. If you would like to have a go at home, you are more than welcome. Maybe cut out some shapes out of newspaper, out of different colours of paper. And can you rearrange a few shapes? They don't have to be these exact shapes. You can use any 2D shape to create a boat. So if you'd like to have a go home, please bring them in so we can have a look. Enjoy your boat making.